So Callum Smith has a tendency to switch off at mid to long range. When he adjusts his feet, these are two clips when he is adjusting his feet, he will get caught standing tall. So here he adjusts his foot position to where Ryder's moving to, which is as a southpaw, he's moving anti-clockwise to get his right foot on the outside. He throws a nothing jab and Ryder counters. Callum Smith tends to, when he jabs, he doesn't move his head or his feet after. He's a prime target to be caught off of his jab because at times he throws it at one pace, and top fighters will pick up on that and they'll sense that and they'll get a read on it, and that's when they'll counter. Here you'll notice that Ryder, who has a very good style, very similar in a way, although southpaw to Canelo, of rocking back and forth and staying compact in a position to punch, but also making it difficult for the taller fighter to land on him. So you'll see here, Smith will take a step, feints, thinks, okay, I'm not going to get anything there, stands tall, bosh, gets caught with a jab. He stands too tall and he switches off, and his feet are not particularly proficient in getting in and out. And that's an area of concern against Canelo, especially with such a frame. He can land to the body and to the head. See here again, as he moves across the line, he adjusts, he settles his feet stand planted, and he gets caught. So you'll notice here, Smith can be a little bit eager at times to get towards his opponent, especially if nothing's really happening. He'll try and sometimes force the openings and he leans over. But what I really wanted you to look at is Groves is moving, he will move towards the opponent's backhand. Now you get told throughout your time as a kid learning boxing, never move towards the opponent's backhand. But if you watch the top fighters, a lot of them will move towards the backhand. Groves is one of them, and you know who else is? Canelo. Canelo will move that way because he'll move his opponent onto his right hand. And you see here the little double feint, and then he jabs through the centre. Note that Smith looks to shoot over the right hand, and that's something that Smith does. And these are two fighters who are aggressive counterpunchers, Canelo and also Smith. And whilst both men are good aggressive counterpunchers and both are able to catch and counter at different ranges, that's what I expected. That's why I expect it to be a slower pace fight, a fight where Canelo's patient, Smith's patient, but Canelo's more patient. See, at times Smith, he will try and force his openings. Canelo's quite content to wait, and the thing is, tomorrow night, in the back of Callum Smith's head, he must have it thinking to himself, I've got to do something because I know the scorecards are possibly not going to be on my side. The family are already talking about it. That could be sitting in the back of his head. He may open himself up, thinking that he has to do that little bit more, being on away soil, thinking that I'll have to force it a little bit. And as you've seen in those clips, at times he tends to lean over and then he opens up. And it's there where Canelo is very creative, explosive with his punches, and he's able to see things. And sometimes it's not always the same counter. At times it will be a parry and jab. Then it could be he'll come back with the left hook rather than the jab to counter your jab. It's little things like that that he does different, and it can catch you off. And I feel that my concern for Smith is in this fight, I expect Canelo to move towards him, and I expect Canelo to move clockwise. I expect Smith to edge back. My thing is, I don't think his jab is a jab that's going to keep Canelo off. I don't think it's an exceptional jab. It's long, it's decent, but it's consistent. And consistent at world level just isn't enough. You need to vary things. Against the great fighters, you have to be able to change and do things different. Otherwise, they will get a read on you. My opinion is that he's going to struggle if he keeps throwing the same jab. Canelo will be able to start getting a read on it. He puts his head in different positions. He'll move his head from one position to another, and he edges in. He moves clockwise, and he edges you onto his right hand. And then from there, sometimes the great fighters, they're happy because they're content in being quiet. Whereas, sometimes you'll meet people in life, they can't sit in a quiet room, they have to make noise. They're uncomfortable, they get jittery, they can't handle silence, they have to be doing something. The great fighters don't need to. And my concern for Smith is, in those moments, does he feel that he has to do something, and he starts doing something that he didn't need to do, and opens himself up and gets caught? For me, I feel like Canelo's jab will be able to land. I believe that he'll be able to close the distance with his head movement, with his mental pressure, just moving towards Smith. I expect Smith to edge back, look for those catching counters, look for those little moments, and I expect Canelo to be able to land that jab through the seam of his guard, land to the body. I expect it to be early on, slower paced, and then I expect moments of excitement. And it's just in those moments I feel that Canelo will land the bigger shots. I feel like Smith doesn't have a particularly great defensive position for his body, with his elbows being so advanced. And I just feel that Canelo can get into that mid-range to short range and do what Ryder did and be compact enough. And my concern is, Callum Smith being that tall, is it a great thing for a tall fighter to be really good on the inside, or should it be something that he has in reserve? And it's Canelo has those layers that I don't feel Smith has, and it's up to Smith to create those openings or be able to seize that chance and then jump all over it. And I'm not sure he's able to do that. But I'm going for a Canelo victory, late stoppage or points. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching.